Good day, ma'am and class. Let me pose you a question. What do you believe to be the best place to learn? In a small class, or rather, a big one? When you think of universities, what's the first thing to come to mind? Well, personally, I think of a lecture hall, which is essentially a big classroom, built to be packed with people where they only come to listen, not to ask questions, to actually interact with the teacher or lecturer, and to gain further insight. Now, what about extra classes? When you think of extra classes, you think of a small enclosed area, akin to that of a normal classroom, just smaller. It's just a few people, or you and the teacher, one-on-one, able to converse, ask questions, and tackle the problems head-on. Now, out of these two options, what would you say would benefit a student more? A big classroom, like a lecture hall, or a small classroom, like at an extra class? Well, to find a definitive answer to this question, let's start off with small classes and what they have to offer, their benefits and their downsides. According to websites such as www.ef.com and www.ces-schools.net, some benefits of small classrooms could include that of: you can focus on learning, you get more feedback, ideas are shared, it's easier to identify problems, students become more engaged, things go faster, and teachers find it easier to teach. Now, the downsides, however, I couldn't really find any, because extra classes seem to be a pretty good choice, as they're smaller. But what I could find, however, is from a website that goes by www.classrooms.synonym.com, which stated that there are increased student anxiety, attendance issues, and there is a lack of diversity in the class. Now, what's up with bigger classrooms, and why do universities more times often than not tend to lean towards big classrooms like lecture halls? Well, the most plain and straightforward answer to this question is that so that they can fit all the students inside. However, that does come with a lot of drawbacks. According to www.liberalartscolleges.com, Dr. Carl Waldman, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2001, held an experiment where over 500 students in two introductory physics undergraduate classes were taught using two different learning styles. The first, passive learning, aka lectures, versus the second, which was active learning, aka normal teaching like you would see in high school, where everyone in the class would contribute to the topic at hand. The results showed that the active learning group, compared to the passive learning group, had a higher student attendance, there was an increased amount of engagement, and it also demonstrated that it showed over twice the amount of learning than the passive learning group. So, in conclusion, we already could have guessed the answer to the question by now. However, you can now say without a shadow of a doubt that the research done by others and what I have shared with you in this speech, that you can say that smaller classes are the definitive best solution and answer to whether smaller classes or bigger classes are better, as in the end they improve teaching and education quality. Thank you.